Business number is CAACO 6320. KY City of Louisville 483 and FLEC1 300 3427. Call for additional numbers. Total package includes 6-door window sensors. Call now. 1-866-669-8954. 866-669-8954.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We're talking about the gathering storm within the GOP and how that affected and how that fact affects what is happening here in these elections. And last night, keynote speaker Chris Christie got up and just did everything that a good GOP establishment spear chucker would do. It was pathetic. I've got my notes here. And one thing, I wrote it down immediately. I got up, I couldn't take it. And after all of this fist pumping and all this pep talk and all of this stuff, I thought he was running for president. I thought this guy, the way he was sounding, stand up with me and let me do this. I, me. And then he went to this and said, as he made a segue, he said, it doesn't matter how we got here. It doesn't matter how we got here. And then he went on. And I'm screaming, literally. Yes, it does matter how we got here. That's the entire point. The entire point of this is how we got here. It's the step-by-step erosion, breakdown, takeover of the left, and through the use of the delivery system, the great grinding wheel of liberal media that has put America to sleep and has robbed America of its freedom and liberties. And if you think that's not true, just reelect this guy and see what happens. I hate to say this, but sometimes I feel as though, maybe the best thing for these idiots in this country, and there's like half of the country is voting for this jackass. You know what? Let's give him 4 more years of Obama, and let what he leaves behind, this political fecal matter of ruin, how it coats everything, and let people sludge through that for the rest of their lives and bequeath that to their children and grandchildren. Sometimes I think that might be an interesting, a run through, where people get what they deserve. But that's too cruel, and I don't wish for that. And I can only say that I wish that the American people would start to wake up and understand it's not about Mitt Romney's taxes. Gee, what's he hiding? I hear people talk about that. And it's about what lies ahead. What I would have loved Chris Christie to do was stand up and tell people and run it off, the 50 points, the bullet points of why and how we got to where we are. How did we get where we were? How did we get where we are? And where were we as a republic when we didn't even notice it? As we said, in earlier shows, why hasn't Chris Christie come out and say, Mr. President, I think it's time you tell people exactly what you meant by fundamentally change America. Fundamentally change America. What did you mean by that? Please just explain it to us. So the first thing he does, Christie gets up and says, it doesn't matter how we got here. This was a benign speech. I thought he was running for president. A massive disappointment and a missed opportunity. It was a halftime pep talk, non-specific. He failed to specify anything. His speech is an example of what's wrong with the GOP. Now, what is wrong with the GOP? Here's what's wrong with the GOP. And I'm going to pull out a couple of little quotes from this Darren Johneskew's speech of the gathering storm within the GOP. Though all conservative hands must be on deck for Mitt Romney between now and November 6th, there is little doubt that from that day forward, America will witness the final foundation-shaking battle in a long war, namely a fight for the heart of the Republican Party. Either the current long-standing GOP establishment will finally cede control of the official banner of political conservatism, or the traditional two-party system, and with it, the American Republic will dissolve. That there is a GOP establishment ought to go without saying, although this self-evident fact has been vehemently denied by a few of the establishment's more prominent representatives. These denials ought to be a heartening source of amusement to anti-establishment conservatives, as they confirm the extreme degree to which the old guard fails to recognize its exposure and the severity of the light that has been cast upon it of late. The definitive quality of an establishmentarian is, of course, the quality of being established. Being established in general usage means having a secure place and being firmly entrenched in one's respected status within a social structure. Being a member of a political establishment entails being aligned with and firmly entrenched within the residing power structure. What is more important to the Republican Party is to promote party politics. Is to recognize and establish and celebrate the presiding power structure and those in it. Ronald Reagan was special because he broke that. Ronald Reagan came in 1980 and says, you guys are losing. You idiots allowed, this peanut farmer to come in here and he's destroying the country. You want me to come in? He goes, yeah, we want you to come in and save it. So he says, get out of my way. He got rid of all the advisors from the party. All the people now who are telling Mitt Romney, you can't say that, don't do this, or you'll affect, don't say anything, don't get anybody riled up. And what they say by not getting anybody riled up is, gee, don't upset, don't piss off the independents. So you just be nice, just be a nice guy. That's all I want to do. It's good enough. Just go on the tenets of a bad economy. That's all you have to do. Well, Ronald Reagan came in and just said, he went right at and destroyed Jimmy Carter in his speech in 1980 at the RNC, if you recall that. I do. He just destroyed the guy. That was the moment America realized, wait a minute, he's right. Yeah, he is right. That's leadership. So what happens is, here we are. We are as bad off as you can possibly be, with the worst guy you could possibly have in the White House. And you have an opportunity. We have an opportunity to nail this guy and to run him out of town. And what does Christie do? Comes in and gives you a halftime high school football game speech. He said nothing. He absolutely said nothing. And just like the Republican Party, they say nothing. I'm very concerned about what's going on here in this election. And that's where I believe the Tea Party comes in. And when we come back, we'll discuss exactly what the Tea Party is doing right now and what they're going to have to do in order for us to win this thing. We'll be right back.